Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Astral. Wanted to get into a new video that dropped today that was really like a plea from whistleblowers to President Trump. Has to do with the NDAs. So I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive into NDAs. There's a new New York Post article that just released on David Grusch and also has Borland and Matthew Brown. They seem to be at odds, I feel like, with the approaches that's going on with the NDAs. So I wanted to play a couple Grusch clips and some things that have happened over the past like 6 months to set the stage for what I think is going to be coming up is maybe a disagreement in the direction that I think whistleblowers need to go into. A lot of the whistleblowers that are out in the public now still are asking for more protections, don't feel comfortable. And I think you'll see in this video that I'm about to play, you know, a lot of them are on the same page with what they're saying. So let me go ahead and bring that up, and then we can go over a couple more clips of Grusch throughout the last couple of months, what he's been saying on the matter. Bring it up here. All right. So this was just released. I think this is James Fox. James Fox has forwarded this post. It was posted by somebody else on X of what I saw, but James Fox, I think, is behind this. He was filming a bunch at the events this year. So I think this might be in collaboration with somebody else, but it seems like James Fox might be behind this. And I don't know if it's even a documentary or just like a motivational, advocate video.
This is a cover-up. You all know it. We know it. We demand the answers.
This is our government. This is our country. This is our information. And damn it, we demand it.
My name is Eric Burleson.
My name is David Grusch.
Jeffrey Nusatelli.
Matthew Brown.
My name is Dylan Borland, a former geospatial intelligence analyst for the United States Air Force.
I'm a Republican congressman from Missouri.
First of all, that beat is banging in the background. That's a nice beat. The sound sounds really good in this. It does sound sped up, though. I don't think I'm trying to speed it up. Let me see if I speed this up. No. Okay, I'll keep going.
I'm a former career Air Force intelligence officer and former senior intelligence official who served at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
I served as a national security contractor supporting the Department of War and the Department of State.
I'm a former United States Air Force Security Forces member
And a member of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets.
I already provided classified testimony and evidence to the Intelligence Community Inspector General and Congress regarding
Unidentified anomalous phenomena, technologies of unknown origin, and non-human intelligence.
We continue to receive credible claims of recovered craft of non-human origin and reverse engineering programs.
This included photographs and videos of these operations to include the craft and the non-human occupants.
I can tell you with certainty that I provide evidence of current operations.
And I've seen this evidence with my own eyes, and I've had these discussions with our nation's most senior leaders in a classified environment.
The American people in Congress have not heard the whole truth because secrecy agreements and active threats prevent me from speaking freely.
But these whistleblowers are being terrorized.
I personally know current and former government employees who possess critical first-hand information but remain silent because they fear losing their careers,
Their pensions.
or facing serious legal jeopardy.
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
we need you to use your authority because the American people are behind you on this. And the time is now. Provide immunity for anyone and everyone who has already come forward and for those who will come forward.
Mr. President, give us the authorization and we're ready to go.
So that was a lot, very quickly. And again, it seemed like it was fast forward in some of the parts. So I don't know. I'll play it again, but it's kind of like, yo, the ball's in your court, Mr. President. I don't know if that's going to be the best approach to this because, we're seeing this play out to President Trump has made a directive, and then we're going to play back some quotes in which seems like Grusch is hinting that he's already read in. He knows this stuff. He knows a lot of this stuff. So to put the pressure on when it seems like he's playing ball, he's releasing some of the files they're going through. Pursue, I guess, is going to be the organization that's working with Arrow to release this stuff. And I think they're trying to do like a full court press here to be like, it's not good enough, and we need more protections, we need more, and we're not gonna comply and agree with any of this stuff and come in if these demands aren't met. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the best approach to this. I want to just play it back one more time and pick out a couple of things, because like Matthew Brown says really specifically that he has the information, but he's just not coming forward because of these preventions in the NDA or feeling comfortable. I don't know. It was like it happened so quick. I have to listen to it again. So let's play it back one more time, and then I'll pick out some more of the stuff that was said in it.
This is a cover-up. You all know it. We know
like a rap song.
We demand
starts
the
out like a
answer.
rap
This is
song.
our government. This is our country. This is our information. And damn it, we demand it.
My name is Eric Burles.
My name is David Grusch.
Jeffrey Nusatelli.
Matthew Brown.
My name is Dylan Borland, a former geospatial intelligence analyst for the United States Air Force.
I'm a Republican congressman from Missouri.
I'm a former career Air Force intelligence officer and former senior intelligence official who served at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
I served as a national security contractor supporting the Department of War and the Department of State.
I'm a former United States Air Force Security Forces member
And a member of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets.
I've already provided classified testimony and evidence to the Intelligence Community Inspector General and Congress
Regarding unidentified anomalous phenomena, technologies of unknown origin, and non-human intelligence.
We continue to receive credible claims of recovered craft of non-human origin and reverse engineering programs.
This included photographs and videos of these operations to include the craft and the non-human occupants.
All right, so they got photos and videos of craft. Has any of that been released? Is my first question already publicly. If not, what's the next step to getting that stuff released? Because I think that's the main frustration with the tranches, is that people in congressional skiffs, whatever, are hinting that this stuff is impactful. Burchett at one point was like, there's going to be a holy crap moment. And he was in the topic. He was already looking at this stuff. But we just haven't had that, especially with videos. Like, there might be some cases that are interesting. I saw a video where Richard Dolan breaks down a lot of the cases that are in the documents that I think are important when you really dig into it. I think that's where the goods are. But for the public buy-in to the process of what's going on, I think the videos are the most important thing. That's what's going to go viral. That's what are going to get people's attention. And for them to be like, oh, we've seen videos, we've seen pictures and conclusive, and people and journalists that have insider tracks, and then insiders have hinted that they've seen this footage, right? Like, there's some footage out there of the 4K that's going to change everything. And I just don't even believe that one piece of footage is going to be able to conclusively show that aliens exist. I just think it's so difficult to do, even with AI. It's going to be difficult to do. And then now you're competing with AI. So it's now almost like historical footage is the only thing that has a chance, is something that has already been in history that we then gain access to, which might be some of these documents that they have. They're just sitting on them. All right, I'll keep going.
I can tell you with certainty that I provide evidence of current operations.
And I've seen this evidence with my own eyes, and I've had these discussions with our nation's most senior leaders in a classified environment.
The American people in Congress have not heard the whole truth because secrecy agreements and active threats prevent me from speaking freely.
But these
secrecy agreements and threats. Now that should be, that statement alone should be high priority of what he's saying with Matthew Brown. So I don't know. I don't know in the story of what he's talking about, what could be revealed that would be so, the thing is they've hinted at it. They've hinted at some of this stuff. And, now that we're looking at today, we've got this video, but it feels like the scope of things have changed just a little bit. And I'll bring up that article that has, to me, changed a little bit.
whistleblowers are being terrorized.
I personally know current and
Terrorized. Whistleblowers are being terrorized.
former government employees who possess critical first-hand information but remain silent because they fear losing their careers
Their pensions.
or facing serious legal jeopardy.
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
we need you to use your authority because the American people are behind you on this. And the time is now. Provide immunity for anyone and everyone who has already come forward. and for those who will come forward.
Mr. President, give us the authorization and we're ready to go.
Yeah, that plays like a rap video, for real. I thought it was well put together. Whoever edited it did a good job of just putting Mr. President, like all of that. Yeah, it was, get your attention. Now, whether or not it's going to lead to a full film that's going to be put together, we'll see. And it's so tough, I would figure, to put together a documentary because things move so fast that even from that right there, to me, there's changed a little bit. Like Grusch and Matthew Brown and Dylan Borland, I feel like might not be all on the same page right now. So just from an article, and just to kind of put things in perspective here, I want to bring up just how serious people have taken this. And I just was stumbled upon. I was looking for like NDA stuff where UFOs were discussed and NDAs were preventing the information from coming out, or NDAs were kind of like mentioned in it. And I just stumbled upon this interview and I thought it was funny because nobody brings the drama of how important this is that Jeremy Corbel, and he is Corbel here. So I just wanted to play this clip.
Has dropped the ball.
Can I ask you something point blank?
Yeah.
The report says that Arrow could not locate any of the alleged UFO crafts. We have no knowledge of anything on that front whatsoever. Does Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick know the location of where the crafts are?
Yes. Some. So this is complicated, this part of it for me.
The suspense is crazy. So good. So the suspense is perfect.
There are witnesses that have testified to Arrow that are of a high level. I am personally aware of a location and information given directly to Arrow. There was a massive reprisal wave that came. I know for sure that Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is highly aware of some of this technology and where it is, because I know the people that told him about it. Fuck, I can't talk about this. It will identify who it is. He has signed an NDA.
There it is.
Investigatory agencies are up his fucking ass right now with polygraphs. If I say the wrong thing, this guy is fucked. And it also shows who I talk to. So I don't know how the fuck to say this to you. There is at least one location facility that I know Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is hyper aware of. And that shit was covered up from the inside. I know that to be true.
I wonder if he was talking about Dylan Borland right here. I wonder if he was talking about somebody who's already come out, because this was, when was this? January 2025. So like a year and a half ago. I don't think Dylan Borland was out by then. So I wonder if he was referencing Dylan Borland at the time. And also, here's another rumor that was going around that I wanted to play of just this whole NDA thing. So this was talked about in May. I don't know. I don't recognize this guy, but Kent Hecken. But his reporting was interesting, and it talked about Grusch and the NDA stuff. So I wanted to just play this, and then I'll play a bunch of the Grusch clips that I have.
President Trump, at least his sources tell him that President Trump is set to sign another executive order related to the UFO UAP research. And it would open the door for people to come forward. 3 things in this executive order we're being told. It would release all the scientists involved in this program of their NDAs, non-disclosure agreements.
There it is.
It would release them. That means they could come forward freely without penalty. There is possible immunity for anyone that may have been committed a crime or accused of a crime or even around a crime. Immunity in this to let them, of course, come forward. And thirdly, this executive order would make it a crime not to give up the documents. And it would be a crime forcing people to give up these documents.
See, we haven't talked about that one.
A great move on behalf of President Trump. We expect that executive order in days, is what the sources are telling Kent Heckenlively, who is, of course, the author of Catastrophic Disclosure.
I forgot he was selling the book. So props to him. But it actually did not end up in the next couple of days. But it was interesting especially the third one. The third one is not talked about, where it would make it a crime if you didn't come forward with the documents. Like if you had something and you didn't come forward and you were doing that, that to me seems pretty interesting, that, people would basically get in trouble if they didn't come forward. So, all right, let me go back. I'm going to play a bunch of Grusch clips. Also, at the end here, I got a sponsorship care package from a good friend, and I'm going to open it live. I haven't even opened the package. So, some merch that I'm excited about opening. So stick to the end, and I'm gonna showcase some of the work too. So, let me bring up. All right, this will be just a bunch of Grusch clips. I don't know if I'll be able to go in order. So one thing I wish on X that you could do is when you bookmark something, like adjust it around so I could see in order where the stuff is. But let me just go down, play this one.
I certainly have advised the administration over the last year or so, and have spent a lot of time with high-level officials working for the president to try to provide my sage advice on it, and I'll leave that at that, just to keep confidences in some of my sensitive conversations. But I hope for the best, and I think there's a high expectation for the president to deliver, and I think if he does reveal everything that I came in contact with, he's going to go down in history as a great figure historically, regardless of your political persuasion and personal opinion of the president.
So he was working with the president. This was, let me see, in April. So he was working, this was way before any of this stuff has been coming out now with the NDAs in Trump's new directive. So, this was working in effect, and I think Grusch has been trying to work with the White House and executive team on getting these protections or these allowances put into place with NDAs. So I'll just reel off a couple of...
It comes down to like where the rubber meets the road. There's an entire army of bureaucrats who find 1,000 reasons to...
It's from the same show.
Right?
There is, and you have to remember the president has original classification authority over what they call classified national security information under Executive Order 13526. The issue with some of this is under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, and the president does not have unilateral declassification authority. Now, he could argue that under unitary executive theory, the Supreme Court, he certainly does. But if you read the statute, it's the president in conjunction with the energy secretary in an obscure office in the National Archives called the Information Security Oversight Office, the ISO, makes that tie-break decision. But certainly under UET, as they say in legal terms, Trump can make that declassification decision.
The thing about Grusch is when he talks, it's so technical and complicated at times, just breaking that down. But that to me thinks that he's accurate, and he's really researched. He's looking into the offices that need to make the decision for the president to actually declassify things. And he's getting down to these offices that I would think nobody really knows about. Like, nobody knows about these things and how to enact a declassification of UAP information that people need to be protected. You know, like, he's gone through the work, I feel like, in getting down to what needs to happen, you know, like what really needs to happen with legislation, whether it's through Congress, or he's even worked with the, executive branch a lot in briefing them. So now I think is a whole nother ballgame when you're talking about declassifying information with the president and being him up to date. So just him going through that was just so complicated. Like, I don't even think anybody could listen to that and understand what even that was about.
And certainly I think the public needs a formal disclosure plan, not the JFK file dump. I mean, we all applaud the president for releasing things, but thousands upon thousands of documents was dumped on the NARA website and wasn't curated. And I think for this, the expectation publicly is for Trump to do that. And certainly Trump is very knowledgeable on the subject. Now, does he believe everything a particular agency briefed him his first term before COVID? I don't know. And I think that if you parse Trump's language when he says he's not a big believer, I really do think some of the things a particular agency did read him into as it relates to the subject. And he was fully witting of a lot of the aspects we just talked about here today, Chris. I do think.
See, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that when he first said it, of that his viewpoint on the subject could have been changed and really persuaded when he was in his first term. He, Grusch is an agency who it's probably not good in his eyes, was like CIA or something that were briefing him on the topic that probably didn't have as much knowledge as I think Grusch is trying to insinuate here. So that is interesting. And now they're trying to get him back to buying into the topic and thinking there's something to it.
That's the president is not sure what to believe just based on a certain agency reputation. Right. But certainly the president is knowledgeable. And that's about as far as I'd like to go. And I do respect the president and his decision making, and want to give him that bandwidth, or, to be able to say what he needs to say without.
Yeah. So interesting. He just wants to be able to acknowledge that the president probably doesn't know as much as he needs to, but he doesn't want to ruin that relationship or break that bridge. And to have that avenue to be able to educate somebody on the topic, I think is very important for Grusch. And, this is around the time where I think maybe the UFO czar position that Elizondo may or may not have been up for, Grusch is maybe trying to make his case here for getting into a higher position within these circles, possibly. Here's another clip of Grusch again.
Programs.
Like, with your own eye, can we just cut it down to, you believe that we have encountered alien beings and that they've come to Earth and that we know about it as a U.S. government?
That seems to be the case. I don't like to characterize necessarily where they came from. They're definitely some kind of non-human sentience, but it is true, believe it or not, we've recovered the vehicles. And we actually have physical proof. And I was actually partially cleared into some of those activities. It was beyond oral testimony provided to me. I actually had partial access to the data and actually read the intelligence reports resulting from those programs.
Like, with your own eyes, you saw it.
Yes. Certainly members of this current administration are very, very well aware of this reality. Certainly the current president is very knowledgeable on this subject, and I trust his leadership on it. And I think he's assembled an A-team cabinet, and I really believe if Trump wants to be the greatest president and the most consequential leader likely in world history, he certainly has the knowledge, the capabilities, and understanding of some of these sensitive government transparency issues.
So you think, one, he knows, and two, he's open to transparency on UAPs?
He certainly is very well informed on this issue. Leave it at that. I don't want to get ahead of what the president might want to reveal personally.
Yeah, so he knows. And, I think that other part is they're trying to get him motivated into, doing something. But, so there does seem to be, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment where he's like, he knows, but he's just not doing anything. Like, we want him to do something. I feel like that's a lot of when he talks about Trump, there's an acknowledgement that he is smart enough to be in on the topic and know what's going on, but not necessarily to start making changes, drastic changes that these guys would like to, I think, see happen. So yeah, let me see. All right, there's a Danny Sheehan clip. He talks about the president NDAs as well.
We have a period now over the next 2-year period between now and the next elections in the United States here, that will be in November of 2026, for this administration, now that they're in control of the House and the Senate and the White House, and substantial influence in the American judiciary branch, they have this golden opportunity right now to do what President Trump has promised they're going to do, is extract all of this information from the national security state and make it public. This is going to be probably it could well be, if we can avoid more warfare and even the potential threat of thermonuclear war, if we can get through this next 2-year period and bring to fruition the promises of this administration pertaining to the UFO issue, we may be witnessing in the next 2-year period the most important 2-year period in the entire history of the human family. And here we are, privileged to be here, to be all participating in this extraordinary process, which people will be looking back 1,000 years from now, looking back at this as an absolutely transitional period in human history, and we get to all participate in it.
Nice, the music, good touch. Yeah, I think that enticing Trump to be the disclosure president and to get that recognition and notoriety might be the best way to get him to take action on this. I think a lot of it is hope, though. I think people are just hoping that he does this and gets involved. All right, I think it was right around here.
Congress, despite lawful requests, averted
Another
the
Grusch.
president's order on this issue. Furthermore, some of this foreign intelligence has not been provided to Congress, despite lawful requests to the Defense Intelligence Agency last summer, and also having formally been published across the IC and analyzed by such analytical centers such as NASIC. These records belong under congressional oversight, and I believe DIA should stop obstructing Chairwoman Luna's task force and provide those documents to Congress and enter it through mandatory declassification review so the American public can see some of the foreign intelligence I had access to. Secrecy around this issue did not appear overnight. Subsequent executive orders, Secretary of Defense memorandums, departmented security, basically nullified Congress's role with the judicial branch with oversight of this issue. Remember, classification exists to protect the nation. Executive Order 13526 discusses what can and cannot be classified. Embarrassment, hiding funds, criminal activity, and the basic information about scientific information in the universe is unlawful for it to be classified. And this is why whistleblower protections matter. Through my federal litigation ongoing with the Department of War, I learned that the Air Force worked with an external agency to seek an investigation of me for alleged unauthorized disclosures punishable under the Espionage Act after I testified in front of Congress in 2023, discussing the results of my congressionally directed investigation in the support of the first Trump administration. This should concern every member of Congress, regardless of party. To this day, I'm still fighting years of record withholding, administrative obstruction, and a prolonged effort to get a medical military retirement that I still am not in retired status. This is also a real fraud, waste, and abuse issue. President Vance's task force is sharply focused on the issue of misuse of funds. The same accountability problem applies here. And during my investigation, I found slush funds to the tune of billions of dollars per annum for these activities. You cannot have one standard for the American people and another standard for the deep state that hide behind the veil of secrecy.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably another approach that would be good, is saying that billions of dollars are being hidden from the public and underneath the noses of Congress and also the president to fund a lot of this stuff and secret access programs. He talked about the whistleblower protections of what they need, and this was very recent. This was the Capitol event that was organized, I think, by James Fox and Leslie Keene to go into some of the stuff. And there were some congressional speakers, UC Burleson and Burchett in the background, as well as Tim Gallaudet. So, yeah, I think, see another clip here. That was before it, and then...
We're on the cusp of getting, what you're saying is we are on the cusp of getting a lot more details that deal with actual alien beings, however you're going to describe them.
That's certainly up to the president's team, and I certainly support them, but it has come to my attention actually recently, as of today, there are some actors within certain intelligence agencies, to include DIA and CIA specifically, that are actually blocking some of the president's presidentially appointed team and getting access and getting control on some of these historical records. So I really expect the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, Bradley Hansel, to take care of that, as some of that's under his cognizance, especially on the national program side, which is directly under his organization, to reveal some of the historical National Security Council records.
Yeah, I think it's just got to be frustrating for Trump to get this process going. People really acknowledging and really congratulating him, and people, you know, like Luna is proud. I think a lot of them are still fighting for this stuff, but they're proud of what they've accomplished and giving praise to Trump for doing all this, but then going back and being like, well, you know, this isn't enough. You're being hidden from the truth. You know, you're not really seeing the good stuff. So I think it's just a difficult ask to just blow this whole thing wide open when the process is happening in a lot of these people's eyes. And we're coming back and being like, it's not good enough. So where nothing like this has ever happened before, to the tranches officially being released, and the White House is talking about this. So I mean, they're making tweets about it. You know, there's websites going up about this stuff and releases, and in terms of the attention that the UFO topic has got from people within the government and the White House. It's unprecedented. It hasn't been seen anything like this before. So I think a lot of the UFO advocates and insiders are probably looking at this as one of the only an opportunity for, like Sheehan said, the next 2 years. The next 2 years could be crucial in some of these guys' eyes, where this might be the only shot where everything might get reset with a new election and new people coming into this, especially on the presidential side of getting Trump. You know, the clock is sort of ticking at this point. It's on the back end of getting this announced, or, you know, some speech out there, to where it might be a whole nother campaign to get this to the next president that's in there, for them to even acknowledge this stuff, to get to this part, to this point. It would be extremely difficult to do. All right, so let me bring up this article by the New York Post, because this is really the most recent. And so we saw the video at the beginning. This is the most recent article that I think covers a lot of the NDA stuff. In the beginning, though, they talk about this the black triangles, these 100-foot black triangles, and the two videos recorded on cell phones. So this might hint back to the information that we know exists, or, you know, people, journalists know that this information exists, has been hinted at in the tranches, but we don't have the actual videos and the evidence to go along with it, although we know that there's knowledge that it exists. So right off of the bat in the beginning, you think it's going to go there, but the article changes. It goes into Dylan Borland. So Dylan Borland, this does nothing for people who have come forward. It goes, previous whistleblowers warn that nothing has changed after Trump's new order waiving non-disclosure agreements for more people with special knowledge, UFOs, to report to the executive branch, and that best evidence is behind a wall of classification. Okay, so then it goes to a quote that says, "This does nothing for people who could have come forward and spoken already." Dylan Borland, nothing has changed. So goes into his background. I've done the committees, done private meetings. At this point, unless I'm speaking under oath to the public, what's the point? I would say you speak directly to the executive branch and the president, like the president directly hears your information. That, if the president is calling people forward and he's making this directive, and Burleson is looking and working with the team, and he's been working on disclosure this whole time, along with Grusch. Grusch is his right-hand man, and Grusch is saying, okay, everything looks good. Then I don't see why you wouldn't just come in, just because that's how the disclosure, I feel like the urgency would want to go. So it would be like, I've already been there and done that. Like, not when Trump was asking you to come in, though. Like, when Trump is directly asking, I just don't think we're going to be able to get some of these requests, whatever it may be, if we're not willing to show a little bit of courtesy on that side of like, okay, I'll come in and tell you this, but there's still some things that I can't tell you because these are preventing me from it. Like, these are still the obstacles that are there. So, to totally block out and to deny going in when Trump is asking, and to use the excuse of like, nah, I've already done it. Like, I've already done some stuff with the government of telling my story. But I feel like there's more to show in terms of motivation to see the process through, to just meet them somewhere. Matthew Brown is referenced here. So he says, Trump's order frankly doesn't do anything new. It does not free whistleblowers to speak publicly, and which is true. I think to reveal national security information, like, you would get in trouble. Like, obviously, if you would reveal national secrets, you're not going to do that. But to me, we're talking about UFO information, some of the program stuff. I don't know if a lot of this stuff would jeopardize national security, but I feel like these guys would know whether or not they would jeopardize national security. So they're not talking about, I can't say this because this would jeopardize national security. They're saying, I said this because I've signed an NDA and I'm preventing from talking about this publicly. So I think there's a difference there. So both Brown and Borland were on the receiving end of reprisals, character assassinations. It goes into details about what happened to them. And then, so they said, Arrow and ODNI should not have any leadership role in this project. And, so I just don't know how far, like, I see working through or against this instead of getting this whole thing flipped over where like Arrow needs to be disbanded and ODNI shouldn't, like, these are already cemented within the government of agencies that are going to be there for a while. So to beat them, I don't know that you can unearth them just from on the outside, like from the outside being like, I'm not going to participate unless these guys are out. I don't think that's going to work. So it's got to be worked within on the inside to come in and be like, okay, like, I'm telling you this information, but you won't get the real truth because of Arrow and ODNI, because they're blocking this specific information. So, all right, then we go to what I think behind a lot of this stuff, to me, a little bit of confusion and maybe some of the upcoming tension that could become of this is David Grusch he says, I welcome President Trump's action and hope it gives courage to those who have said non-disclosure agreements prevented them from telling Congress or the executive branch what they know. So that was David Grusch. He says, I welcome President Trump's action and hope it will give courage to those who have basically said non-disclosure agreements have prevented me from coming in and telling Congress or the executive branch what they know. Like, I think he's putting people on the spot right there. That's what it feels like to me, is what Grusch is doing when he told this to the Post. So I don't know. It kind of directly conflicts with what Borland and Brown and Matthew Brown were saying in the article earlier. So, write down in the comments, do you think that there's something that's going to kind of culminate and maybe there's going to be a little bit of friction with this. So, and Grusch has personally gone through this process. You know, this is another thing, is Grusch is speaking from firsthand experience from coming in, and now he's working the inside of trying to get other people to come forward as well. He said, I was the first whistleblower to file an Inspector General complaint alleging that these UAP legacy programs were being concealed from awful oversight, and I later testified under oath in both classified and public settings. So he's been through all of what you need to go through, but he's still saying, all right, guys, you still need to come in. It's not like you guys are all good, I'm going to take care of it from here. He's like, we still need participation from people with this process to come in to even further it down the road, you know, to push the disclosure ball even further. So that's it. What do you guys think? I just wanted to go through, that was an interesting video that dropped a few hours ago from James Fox with the whistleblower plea to President Trump. So it was a whistleblower plea basically to President Trump on, you know, trying to get him to take action, whatever they may be on NDAs, whistleblower protections. So we'll see. All right. I think I'm going to open this up. So I got a package. All right. Let me show you guys. Pretty big package. This thing is big. All right, it's a big package. And so I think I'm gonna have to flip it around because you can't read that. So I'm gonna flip around my camera. And all right, so maybe I did the whoop-de flip. All right, so I flipped around, so you should be able to read it. I'm opening this thing up live. Care package. Sponsor of the channel. Shout out. Let's see. Make the password. Terrible opening skills. My cat was going crazy on this thing earlier. Okay. Nice. There's some stuff right here. Okay. Dang. All right. Let's see. First one up. And you're going to see who it is right off the bat. The logo is going to stand out. There it is. PSYOP Anime. Shout out. Just banger. I followed PSYOP Anime from the start. Day one fan. So shout out, man. Reached out and said if I wanted some gear, check out the channel. Would help me out. Dang. Just sick PSYOP Anime style too. I'll rock this. Oh, dang, we got some like pants. Dude. These pants. It's like sweatpants. It's like, they're thick though. They're nice. Roll up in this. Just walking down the street. Come on now. Just the faded tee. I like the oversized faded tee too. Right? Sick. All right, and the last one, got a hoodie. Just straight hoodie right here. Sick, man. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to the homie, PSYOP Anime. Check him out. Let me see. There it is. Yeah, check out the website. The website is sick. So, PSYOPanime.ai. and you can check out all of the videos. I mean, he's just been going hard for about a half a year now. And really working on the idea. So I've seen him working on the idea, just grinding on a lot of the stuff. So he's got some, hopefully they got some UFO stuff coming out, which with the UFO community, which is just crazy. But yeah, check out all the merch that I went to. So if you liked anything today, he's got exclusive drops, stuff like that. So shout out, that was sick. Appreciate that. And I really appreciate everybody's support in the channel. You know, thanks a lot. Really trying to grind hard. Again, this month I'm trying to go for 1,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button, like, let me know what you think. If there's any gonna be some beef coming up. I mean, it's been a crazy last couple weeks within the topic. So it will be cool to see maybe a little bit of, you know, little piece, a little collaboration, some science stuff. So appreciate everybody. I got an interview space coming up on Thursday in the next couple of days with Philip Mantle. I might try and stream that live on the channel as well. But longtime researcher. So I got a couple questions on him about maybe the difference in researchers historically and different things like that. So appreciate everybody. Have a good one. Peace, guys.